Hi everybody, welcome to Vera Bradley Bag of the Day. Elisa here again. I had some more time to do another video, and since I'm trying to do it every day because that's the whole point, bag of the day, I thought I'd better take advantage of that. And today I want to use, for the first time, I'm going to be using this Carson Hobo that I got at the last online outlet sale. I love the Carson Hobo. This is the third one that I have now. I really recommend it if you like a slouchy bag. I love a hobo bag. You can get a lot in here. It's a good size while not looking too big, and it's very comfortable against the body even when it's full. I had a tape measure here somewhere, but it might be under my dogs now. It's such a zoo here. Yeah, I don't know where it is now. Oh, there it is. It's under Big Dookie. Okay, so I can never remember. I just measured it, and I can't remember how big it is. About 12 tall, about 14 when it's flat. Strap drop, I know, is 10 inches when it's used like this. I never use it as a crossbody. I'm not crazy about the crossbody. Anyway, so the print is what I was super excited about when I saw it in the online outlet sale. It's Fox Forest, which is a Dillard's exclusive, and I don't live anywhere near Dillard's, so I was excited to see it in the sale and surprised. But I hesitate usually when a pattern has animals. I hesitate buying it sight unseen. I think it's important for me. I know some people are not as concerned with pattern placement, which I'm sure that makes their Vera Bradley buying lives much easier. But for me, when there are animals or recognizable things like trees and in a pattern, I like to look in person to pick the best placement. And so, I never even thought about Fox Forest because I can never see it anywhere in person. But when I didn't even realize it came in a hobo bag style. I had never seen that. I mean, I had looked at the Dillard's website and I had never seen that. And so I got very excited, super excited, when I saw it was a hobo, a Carson Hobo in the online outlet sale. I decided to take a chance, and so I thought I would talk a little bit also about pattern placement because this sort of lends itself to that subject. The reason I thought that I could take a chance with this bag, sight unseen, is because of the design of the bag. This bag, what's so nice about this bag, and which is why I'm so sad that they seem to be discontinuing it. That's just the story of my life. As soon as I fall in love with a product, it gets discontinued. It's just the laws of the universe for me. But this bag is designed so that it has large areas of uninterrupted fabric. And what I mean is that there's no seaming. It's not constructed with lots of little pieces of fabric put together. So there aren't a lot of seams cutting through the fabric. And there also aren't straps like on a tote bag. Oftentimes there are the straps, depending on the tote style, that will just, interrupt the pattern. And so in those situations, you're more likely either to not get an animal or a full animal, or to get, awkward placement. And so I think that, that helps if you keep that in mind when you're looking at something online. Because a lot of people don't live near a signature store. They don't live near an outlet store, so they can't see things in person, or they don't live near a Hallmark, or their Hallmark doesn't carry Vera or whatever. So I can understand not everybody has that luxury. right, of being able to see something in person. And so I would advise people to look carefully at the bag style when if they want to consider buying a pattern with animals in it. This is increases your odds of getting pattern placement that isn't too awkward, and at least getting some critters in there. So just as an example, I wouldn't advise buying something like this sight unseen. I mean, this is Yellowbird. I think that was about 2008, that pattern. I love it because of the birds. You can see here, there's a little bit of a bird cut off by this. And that's and there's nothing on the back. I mean, it's such a small piece of fabric. So, this is what tends to happen when you're considering something with critters and you're not able to pick it out in person. Another example, this kind of an item, this is Bordeaux Bloom. Everybody knows that's Bordeaux Blooms. And for me, the dragonfly is the big thing in this pattern, and if I'm not getting dragonflies, I just walk away. It's not worth it to me. And so here again, this is a small piece of fabric. This is a small piece of fabric. This is a small piece of fabric. Another small piece of fabric. Now, I did get this because it does have the dragonfly, the large dragonfly, but even then you can see it's cut off a little bit by the magnet. But this was the best that I could find, and I had a coupon, so God forbid I shouldn't buy something when I have a coupon. So I just wanted to point that out to people in case maybe they hadn't really thought about that if you were ordering like a hipster, something that is constructed with a lot of different pieces of fabric put together, your odds of getting the placement you like are slimmer. And so I would, if it were me, my suggestion would be that you look at the style bag and try to pick a style, if you can, that has larger pieces of fabric. A Carson is good, and the newer, I'm not crazy about the Carson North, South, and East, West totes because I don't like the pleather accents. But that bag does have nice big pieces of fabric and not a lot of seams, and the straps don't interrupt the body of the bag. So that was what was nice too about the Hadley tote, which of course they're discontinuing because I loved it. So Lisa loves this bag. That's it. Next. So I just keep that in mind. And even there are larger bags like the travel bags or whatever. They're constructed from a lot of different pieces. And so the odds are you're going to get animals cut off awkwardly, or they're just not going to be there. So you can see I still have the tag on this. So this is it was like a big unveiling. I'm going to cut the tag off. I had scissors so I can use it. There's no going back now. Actually, that's not true. I find the Vera Bradley customer service is actually pretty good. And it has, this is a nice bag. It's got, the strap is removable. I don't know why you would want to remove this strap, but this is removable on both sides. And I like this thing. It spins around, this piece of hardware, so that's kind of nice. And I like the fact that this is fabric and not like on a Carson shoulder bag. I think it is. This piece here is that pleather, which again I can't stand, and just seems to me like somewhere down the line it might crack and split or something. This seems more secure, and I like the fact that it matches. I also like the fact that this particular Carson, the strap is the same fabric as the body of the bag. I do have a Carson that doesn't have that. I think it's the Wildflower Paisley. The strap is just pink. But I do prefer it when that, I'm not a matchy person, but I do prefer that matching. So, so I feel like, I really lucked out here, and I think it paid off. My strategy paid off, because here on this side anyway, you can see I got the foxes, whoops, up center, and the tree fairly centered. I can see that this thing drives me crazy. I mean, I almost feel like maybe they should take it off. I mean, I noticed some of my older Vera that I've been buying some vintage Vera recently, and there is no label on the outside. I don't know how necessary this is. You have to be a walking billboard for a Vera Bradley, but I mean, the pattern sort of says it on its own. So it wouldn't be so noticeable if this tree is just slightly off-center. You know, the foxes are just slightly off-center, and this really calls that out. But they're almost centered, and so I think this was a good, you know, a good lucky bag placement, pattern placement to get. On the back, you get a lot of like the other elements. You know, you get the paired peacocks, and they're not cut off. And up here, there's some pair of birds, and you know, it's nice to have the complete pair. And another pair of foxes there. Even the bottom is pretty with the with the pair of peacocks. And like I always say, I'm a bird person, so anytime there are birds on a bag and they're not cut off awkwardly, I'm always very pleased. So even though this doesn't have the same kind of almost symmetry, I do like that it gives you more of the idea of the overall pattern. So I really feel like it's a very lucky buy for me. So and inside is not, it has that nice. Don't get good light here, but anyway, it has the contrasting lining, which is kind of pretty. Ooh, a little bit lighter there. It's not cotton, right? Everybody knows it's not cotton anymore. That doesn't bother me so much. It is nice to have cotton, but this has a sort of a slipperiness that actually I find makes it easy to load the bag up. There's less friction with other fabric things. GPS, which I still need. Wow, that just fits. I don't need to take that with me, but iPad mini, standard stuff. Phone and iPod. There's a zipper pocket in there. You can see that. And that's a nice deep pocket. I mean, I think let's see. I could even, my iPad mini, I don't know if I can zip it. Oh, I could. Woo. Can fit an iPad mini in that interior zip pocket. So that's a nice, I think that's a nice feature. A nice deep pocket can fit my longer wallet in there. Let's see. Yeah, can fit the longer wallet in there. So that's a nice feature. I mean, you just get a lot in here. I'm not going to carry that, but just gives you an idea of how much stuff you can get in there. And so then the base still stays nice and, you know, relatively flat, which is nice, even though it's not a very hard base. Like I said, this is a very comfortable bag. I mean, against your body, even when it's full, it just sort of conforms to your body really nicely. So, yeah, you can sort of see that. Something I will point out, too, for people who maybe aren't so familiar with this bag and pattern placement, is that you do lose some of it up top. Like when you zip the bag and you pick the bag up, right? So it kind of has, it can do this. So, you know, I lose the fox, you know, in that on the front anyway. You can still see it here, so that's nice. But or even there, it's right, you know, it's right at a curve in the fabric there because of the way the bag slouches, and my arm kind of covers it anyway. So it's just something to sort of keep in mind, I think, when you are looking at pattern placement, if you're in person with this bag and have some control over it. If the foxes are centered, but they're right up here, you know, right up against the zipper, when you're actually using the bag, you're probably they're not gonna show to the outside world really, or your arm will cover it, so you're not gonna see it, which is something. You know, until I had this bag, I didn't really think about that. But so those are my suggestions for picking pattern placement when you you don't have the luxury of going to a store and looking at stuff in person. Is to just consider, like I said, consider the bag style to increase your odds. But anyway, I was very pleased with this. You know, this find, having access to this pattern, an exclusive pattern from Dillard's I otherwise wouldn't have really gotten to consider. So that's my bag of the day.